Firecast, a podcast from MDM Publishing, brought to you in association with International Fire Protection Magazine, the global voice for passive and active fire protection.
Welcome to this latest Firecast, where we discuss some of the key issues with the big players in the fire industry, and we've got a really big player to talk to today. I'm Paul Hutton, and it's my pleasure today on the Firecast to catch up with Pete Browitt, Managing Director at Advanced, the company known around the world for making best quality, best performing fire alarm control panels and systems. Pete, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me on the Firecast today.
Hi, Paul.
Now, you've been at Advanced for 2 years now. What's been the focus of your role so far?
It's 2 years in October, so not quite there yet, but nearly. And there's no doubt it's been quite a challenge, whether we've been preparing for Brexit the first time, the second time, the third time, or whether we've gone through the COVID crisis as well. It's not been easy. Having said that, it's a great company to join, and we're building on great foundations and a great reputation. The company's been around for 20 years, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Ray, Ian, Alan, and Adrian, who started the company. And then also, what might be interesting to know is a lot of the team members who started at the same time are actually still with us, which is a great recognition, I think, for the individuals and for the company. Early on, I think one of the big factors for me was to ensure the successful transition to our new building. So we moved into a brand new 48,000 square feet headquarters and manufacturing facility in Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. And that represented quite a significant investment for the company. And I have to say, the quality of the working environment that we enjoy on a daily basis is truly excellent.
So it's always said when you come into a new business that it takes at least a year before you should make any big changes unless they're absolutely critical, because you've got to get to know things, why things are done this way. You're beyond that now. So what are your plans for the future of the business?
I think the good thing, Paul, ahead of this is I actually had some knowledge of Advanced from working within the Halma PLC group. So I don't know if everybody knows that Advanced is part of Halma PLC, which is a FTSE 100 company, which is a global life-saving technology companies who have a clear purpose to grow a safer, cleaner, healthier future for everyone every day. So I already had a knowledge of Advanced, and I already had some understanding of where Advanced was. Going to your question, I think there's some really exciting opportunities for the business to build some real strategic growth, to build stronger relationships with existing customers and partners, and to identify opportunities in new markets and looking at how our products can continue to tackle the fire protection challenges and add value to our customers around the world. I'm also delighted to say that there are some new products coming, which is always great to see for any manufacturing organization. And also we're adding to that with some digital innovation, where we're going to be looking at new ways of working and how we can transform the way we interact with the fire systems.
Now, come on, you can't say that there are new products coming to market without actually telling us what they are. So, Pete, what's new to the market, or what's in the pipeline at the moment?
I'm glad to say there are quite a few things coming in the next few months. The things that I am comfortable to share at this point, we are currently in the process of some pilot work on our digital offering, providing better interactions for end users and installers. So that's really exciting. In addition, we have launched some easy, safe, low voltage lighting range, which is developed from input from installers, service and maintenance engineers. And that's designed to work with our Lux Intelligent Advanced, which is Advanced Emergency Light Testing System, which I think is really important right now, because one of the key benefits of that system, or the broader system, is that it remotely tells you the status of the system. So right now with COVID, with the message, you don't want people in your building when they don't need to be, you can track very easily whether your emergency lighting is compliant and whether it's active at this point, which I think is a really powerful message right now. And the final one that I do want to mention specifically is in the UK, there's a new code of practice called BS 8629, which is around a fire brigade evacuation panel. And I think it's fair to say that this came out of the Hackett report around Grenfell. So this is a fire evacuation system, and it's not directly linked to the fire system where we normally play. But it's interesting that when we started this project, we actually started the development of a solution on the back of what I'd call a moral standing rather than a financial standing. We felt we could do something, we felt we could save lives, and therefore we kicked off the project. And I have to say, without too much concern around the financials of the project, it was more about our moral obligation to the market, that we could play a part in saving lives, and therefore we should, because we could. And I think that's quite an interesting stance for us.
Absolutely, very much so. Can I pick up, Pete, on something you mentioned just at the beginning of your last answer, which was you mentioned about digital innovation. What are your views across the wider industry on the digital innovation that's happening?
Lots of people talk about IoT, etc. I think what we're trying to do is create innovative digital solutions around controlling, around monitoring, around response times, visibility, maintenance and servicing. And I really think that we've got an opportunity here. And I'm delighted to say that we've invested in this area, and we've brought in some experts in digital to try and help accelerate our solution to market. And I'm really quite proud of the progress that they have made. Digital for us is one of our strategic priorities. It's really important to the organization as we go forward. And I really believe that this is going to change the game in how we go to market, in how we play, and in how people perceive the often frustrating, slow-moving market of the fire world.
Let's rewind just a second, because I want to pick up on some of the large projects that Advanced has been involved in recently. I want you to tell me a bit more about those, please.
I think there are a few that spring to mind immediately. So there's one that's very live at the moment, which is the 22 Bishopsgate installation that we've supported recently. And that's Western Europe's second tallest building, which is in London. The building itself has been designed to be at the forefront of fire technology. And I have to say, it's a fantastic testament to our products, and in particular, the capability of our ad specials team, who were tasked with developing a number of bespoke solutions to protect that site. And that's really what made the difference between our offering and competitive offerings. So I'd like to thank that team in particular. And that adds to our portfolio of a landmark tall buildings, really. So we have solutions in the Shard, in the cheese grater. There's quite a few that I could list off which are really positive. In addition to that, not necessarily recently, but we protect the Hajj Sophia in Istanbul, which is known to be the eighth wonder of the world. And again, that's a really proud moment if we can protect such a historic and prestigious site. The one that I'm particularly personally proud of, because I love visiting, is the Natural History Museum in London. So that is another one of those on the list of just fantastic specification work and great work from the team, and providing the solution that's required for that building and what's held in that building is quite something.
It must be wonderful to walk into somewhere that you love and think, yeah, I'm part of protecting this. Fantastic. Right, two more questions, because I don't want to keep you too long. Anything particularly relevant you want to pick up on the installer market at the moment, please, Pete?
We pride ourselves on robustness, quality of our products, ease of use, fit and forget, that kind of mentality. And we are looking at a number of areas to further enhance what we call the ease of use of our products to help installers. And I don't think we're quite ready to talk about the specifics on that, Paul, but I'm delighted to say that we are really having what I'd call a deep dive into that area to see what we can do to solve problems for the installers and not just be focused on the end user solution.
And finally, you mentioned at the beginning that it's been almost like a baptism of fire coming in as MD of Advanced, with dealing with Brexit, thinking, that's over with, and then suddenly COVID-19 hits. I don't want to talk about hassles and challenges you've had, because I think everybody in every business has had that. But I wonder, has there been any good news that you can share from anything that's come out of COVID?
Yeah, I think there has, Paul, to be honest. I think it's not been an easy time, as you say, and I should send my condolences to the people who have been directly impacted. But trying to look on the positive side of the question, As I said earlier, we've got a new site. We have a very good working and open environment. So we have good space and we're very fortunate. So we've been able to meet all social distancing measures and are COVID secure. And that's not been easy, but remarkable flexibility and grit and determination has been very helpful in that. On the real positive side, we've actually satisfied a number of high-profile orders for hospitals and other key sites over this period, which again is something we should all be proud of, and we were able to help and play a small part in that approach. And one other thing we've done is we've extended the webinar program. So previously we have had webinars, but as many companies have done, we've extended that. And as I mentioned earlier, the code of practice for the emergency evacuation, we had more than 1,000 people on that webinar, which is certainly beat my expectations of having direct contact with people who are influencers and making the decision to buy those systems. And in addition, we've been able to progress products through development still. So despite the fact that people have been working from home, delighted to say that the R&D team, both in the UK and we have a team in India as well, have been able to progress things even working from home, which has not been easy, but again, fair play to them for their determination during this difficult time.
Okay, last thing from you is a chance for you to do a very small sales message, which is how we can find out more about Advanced and how we can get in touch with you.
Okay, Paul, yeah, that's fine. There's obviously the normal means. We have the company website, which is www.advancedco.com. We have a Twitter handle of @AdvancedLive. We have LinkedIn at Advanced Electronics Ltd. And we have a number of videos on Vimeo.
Pete Browitt is Managing Director at Advanced, and it's clear from our conversation that the company and this part of the industry is in really safe hands. Pete, thank you again for joining me today on the Firecast.
Thank you, Paul.
And that's it. That's all we've got time for today from this Firecast. Join me again soon when we'll talk to another big name in the industry.
Firecast is produced and presented by Paul Hutton and is an MDM publishing podcast in association with International Fire Protection Magazine.